Hi everybody, today is Thursday. We're going through John 9. The chapter opens and Jesus passes by a blind man, a man that hasn't seen since his birth. His disciples ask Jesus if the man is sinful or if his parents were sinful and that caused his blindness. Jesus answers neither, that the work of God is made manifest in him, and that Jesus must work the works of God that sent him before night falls, when no man can work. He says to his disciples that while I am in the world, I am the light of the world. As he says this, he stoops down and spits to make clay from the dirt, and then smears that clay across the eyes of the blind man. He tells him to go and wash in the pool of Siloam. The Study Bible here mentions that Siloam, when translated, means sent. The blind man here needs to have faith, so he walks to the pool and washes the mud from his face and receives his eyesight. People are confused. They establish that this is the seeing man, the one that used to beg, but now his eyes have been opened. The man tells the story of Jesus, that he followed the instructions Jesus gave him and was left with sight. People bring him to the Pharisees, and it's discovered that Jesus made the clay and healed on the Sabbath day. Some say Jesus is not God because he doesn't keep the Sabbath day. Others say, how can a man that is a sinner do such miracles? The Jews don't believe this man was ever really blind, so they call his parents and they testify that he has been blind since birth. They don't know how he came by his sight, but they need only ask him because he is of age. The Jews say to him, give God the praise, we know this man is a sinner. The formerly blind man confesses he doesn't know if Jesus is a sinner, just that he was blind, but now he sees. Again, there is confusion. People are saying that Jesus is a prophet, that he's not of God. The Pharisees ask again how the blind man's eyes were opened. The blind man says he's already told them, but he'll do it again so that they can be his disciples also. The Jews are upset, saying that they are Moses' disciples and that they don't know from whence Jesus has come. The formerly blind man says that it's a marvelous thing that the Pharisees and Jews don't know where he's from, yet Jesus completely healed the man, and that there has never been a story of a man being healed of blindness that was from birth. And it really drives it home for the Jews and Pharisees that if this man, Jesus, were not of God, how could he do any of these works? If he were not of God, he could do nothing. His audience does not receive this well. The Jews and Pharisees are mad and say that they were together born in sins, meaning Jesus and this man that was formerly blind were together born in sins. And will they teach them that? With this, they cast out the man. Jesus hears that the man has been cast out. When he finds the man, Jesus asks, dost thou believe on the Son of God? This is a statement of his deity, to which the man says, Lord, I believe, and he worships Jesus. Jesus says that for judgment he has come into this world, that those who don't see might see, and those who say they see might be made blind. Some of the Pharisees hear Jesus and they ask, are we blind also? Jesus says that because they say they see, their sin remains. Okay, everybody, that is the end of John chapter 9. I hope that you enjoyed it. I will say it's a little bit different than most of the other chapters that we read, just because we get sort of a closed-door view of conversation about Jesus, involving Jesus when he's not there to speak for himself or defend himself. And what do we get from this conversation, this interaction, is that there's still a lot of confusion about who Jesus is, whether he is a prophet or he's not of God at all, or he is God. People don't seem to understand. And Jesus keeps trying to instill in them that he is the light of the world, and that while he's here, the light remains. But when he's gone, it's up to his believers to continue that light shining. And I think that's an important message for us to hear. On top of the story of the blind man himself receiving his sight and the miracle that this situation was. And then again, with all of this, we have the act of Jesus physically lowering himself to the ground, and he uses his spit to make clay. He uses everything that God has given him in order to help others. And by smearing this wet dirt that dries on this man's face, and then to go wash it away with water from a pool that's translated to mean sent, it all is so beautifully connected, and it's a wonderful thing to be able to read today. So that I just wanted to mention it. I know that I'm probably being long-winded, but I appreciate you guys hanging around and going through this chapter with me. If you have any questions, as always, please leave them down in the comment box below. If you have any prayer requests, I'm all about it. Please drop it down there as well. If you would consider liking and subscribing, that would be wonderful. And until tomorrow, friends, I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you with John chapter 10. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a good day. Bye.